Hey everyone, Mr. Equal Rights for console and PC players here today. I'm here to talk about mods. Um, I'm making this video basically to call to Fat Shark and say, hey, it's been 2 years. We've got both console players in the form of Xbox and PlayStation 5 players in the game now. And the inequality between players who are able to play on PC with mods and the players who play on console is getting pretty vast. And I'm going to make a short comparison today to show you some of the mods that I think would be really easy to wrap into the base game, and hopefully we can bring some of those features. In the past, I know some features have been brought in, such as the ability to favorite weapons. Stuff like that have been brought in from mods to the base game, and I don't see any reason why the rest of these can't be brought in as well. I'll make some honorable mentions at the end, but yeah, these are things that I think would greatly improve the console experience, and some of them are just kind of like boggling as to why they're not in there to start with, because yeah, this game hasn't had a whole lot of updates in user experience, like UI experience, in a very long time, and I think it's starting to show. So let's take a look at a couple of clips here. First, let's start with the unmodded experience. So I'm coming into this area here, and I'm going to tag this enemy. First of all, this tag is absolutely huge. Other than looking up here, I cannot actually see where this enemy is, because this red skull, even once it fades, its little image, is so huge. It actually physically obscures the head on this enemy. So if I was sharpshooting, I could not actually see where the head is on this enemy, or if I can actually hit it at all. Here is the modded experience. It simply removes the red skull. There we go. So I can see very clearly that this enemy is highlighted. So I don't understand the purpose of this skull. It's very obvious when enemies are tagged for everyone on the team. It still highlights it in the same way. I got this mod to remove this skull, and it is called No Skull. You might imagine. Isn't that crazy? No Skull is great. I got it when I was sharpshooting with a veteran, and I kept missing shots because I couldn't see, because this skull is so huge. And I think this is a great, easy first candidate to be added to the game. You can just toggle the skull on and off. Put that in the user or the game options. The second thing I would like to call attention to here is our information about our allies over here, i.e. that there is none. These allies have full health, and this guy has 3 wounds, and that's about all I know. They have full health, they have roughly full grenades and full ammo, but that's all I know. I can see my own ammo and my own health, but you know, maybe this is immersion breaking or something, but it's also immersion breaking to know that I have 240 to the point health, right? I can see whether or not I'm in coherency with them. Why can I not just see how much ammo and health they have? So this is the modded version, and I can see an argument being made that, like, oh yeah, this adds a lot of clutter to the game or something, but you can see here it really doesn't. You know, it just adds these simple little numbers right out here to the side, and this is so important. It allows me to know, make more educated decisions on who should receive Medicae. Like, if this player was missing half of their HP, and this player is missing half of their HP, who should get the Medicae station if there's one charge? Well, this guy would be missing 80, and this guy would be missing 135. So obviously this guy should get the Medicae station. But without that information, if these guys are both missing half of their HP, how will I know who should get that Medicae? Well, you won't. You'll just have to kind of guess. And so this is sort of information that should be baked into the game. There's one more piece of information that absolutely sort of boggles me, that is not shown in the game anywhere, and that's this little yellow bar. This little yellow bar here is the ultimate bar, and so you can see what my ally here uses their ultimate. There it goes. He uses psychic scream, or whatever it is, a venting shriek. It puts it on cooldown, and that is the number of seconds until their ultimate is available again, and you see it ticking up. That is not available in the base game, so I have no idea when my allies, if they've used their ultimate, if like it's coming off cooldown soon, and this really holds me back from being able to coordinate with my allies and play around their abilities, which is something that the game is designed for. Like, we have coherency. Again, it wants you to play around using your ultimates in a team-working way, and yet I have no information about that. So that really sucks. And then the last thing that really sucks over here is I have no information about the the ammo that any of my allies have. I can see they have roughly full grenades, which isn't much different here, but I don't know whether these guys have shot really any ammo at all. For all I know, they have full ammo, no one's fired a single bullet. But here I can see that my bots have fired a few bullets. And I can see this guy doesn't even have bullets because he's using a staff. This, again, allows me to make better decisions. If I found a ammo pack in this room up here, and all these ammo things still say white, well, one guy could be missing up to like 25% of his ammo, and the thing hadn't turned yellow to indicate that he's missing it yet, and I might not bother pinging it because I don't know. So that should be added, and that's all part of a mod called Numeric UI. This is my #1 mod. If you are, you're lazy and you don't want to install a bunch of mods and you just want to pick one mod that makes the game way, way better to deal with, is Numeric UI. And that is why it's my #1 fan pick here today. This is Mystery's #1 pick. Fatshark, please add Numeric UI functionality to the game so that players can see this information about their allies and make better decisions. It gets really, really. I feel like I'm playing like blind when I'm playing after a patch or something like that, and this is the information that I'm given. This is, I know you're trying to keep it like svelte and streamlined, but this is just like really, really disappointingly little information, and we need that information. Okay everyone, Mr. Editing here, just breaking in to remind you that if you like the video, let me know by liking the video and telling me so in the comments. You can also subscribe, help keep the Mr. E machine rolling to 10,000 subscribers. I would super appreciate it. And if you need the video for how to install mods, I've got that also pinned in the comments. All right, back to the video. Okay, the next thing that I want to bring up here is a mod called Kill Feed Improvements. You see this up here? You see how busy this is? This single player has killed 3 shotgunners. And I've killed a shotgunner, this guy's killed a shotgunner. All that stuff is taking so much space. In fact, this area up here is getting blown out by the number of shotgunners and bulwarks that are being killed in quick sequence. If anything important was killed up here, say there was a trapper that I saw for 1 second and ran in, and I'm not certain if someone else got it. Well, if it gets bumped out of the way by a million things popping up in this top corner, I'll never spot it. But you can see here that it's much more condensed when these duplicates, when you're killing multiple, just say a ×2 or ×3 next to it. And this allows more important information to remain visible at the top of the screen for longer. And this mod is called Kill Feed Improvements. All it does is it removes duplicates and puts little times, whatever, number up in the top corner, and you can turn off certain things like, oh, I don't need it in the kill feed when a chaos spawn dies. I think I can pretty safely guess when the chaos spawn is dead because the giant health bar disappears from my screen, so I can remove that one from the feed so it doesn't populate the feed with that stuff. This is a really, really great mod. I think it should be, it was actually, oh no, this was a sanctioned mod in Vermintide 2 as well. Yeah, it's just super, super busy having every individual thing pop up in that top corner, and this is a great improvement to that. The next thing I want to draw your attention to is where the heck are my allies in this clip? Right here. This is a great clip to point this out. Is this my ally, or is the ally over here and this is an enemy? I'm not sure. Is this my ally, or are they behind a wall? I can't tell because everything is muddy and brown, and the game is very busy. It's moving very fast, and you can see 1 second later, I've completely lost them. Is this my ally, or is this my ally? Or are they behind this thing? Is this my ally, or are they still up here? I genuinely cannot tell in this moment. And here you can finally see in this little clip, like right here, the faintest of outlines to tell you where this enemy is, or this ally is. I still can't see this guy because he's visible to me. But when they're behind an obstacle like this, or like far enough away, it puts that like glowing blue organs on top of them. Let me show you what my modded version looks like, and just how much more user-friendly this is to figuring out where the frick your allies are at any given time, which is, yeah, a pretty important thing. There's my allies right there. So at a glance, I can just look up and I can say, oh, yeah, my allies are at the top of the ramp there. And I can see which one is which. I can see their relative positioning. I can see what they're doing. This was a feature in the game for a good amount of time. It wasn't quite this stark. But yeah, they had player outlines and they removed it, and I don't think they ever brought it back. But this mod is absolutely essential for me. It's super important for me to know where my allies are at any given time at a glance, because there's so much stuff going on in this game, and it's just really, really annoying to to not know, especially with like when barrels are as dangerous as they are. I don't want to blow something up and have an ally be right next to it and not know. So this mod, and it's not immersion breaking either. You can see it just adds a little bit of like a blue outer glow to my allies and makes them just that much more visible. So I can see, yeah, they're over there, and there's one right there. Easy peasy. That is called player outlines. If you want to grab that one, you can show just the mesh, just the inside of them. You can show the hologram, the outline, all these things. You can show it together so that you can see your allies really, really well, and I think it's very important. The next thing I want to draw attention to is something that's a little bit more social related, which is down here. I can see this player has 973 levels. I have 555 levels. I get a lot of questions about this in my videos and in my streams. What does that number mean? Well, this is, the game keeps track. You can see after games, it'll say, hey, level up, but you're level 30 already, right? The game keeps track behind the screen, or behind the scenes, of what your overall experience level is. And so this is this player's overall experience level on Psyker. They have nearly 1,000 levels of experience of playing Psyker. They probably definitely know what they're doing, right? And I have 555. I'm getting there in terms of knowing what I'm doing. This is a mod called True Level. You can see this is the normal experience. I have no idea if these guys are level 4 or level 30. They're probably level 30 because it's Auric Damnation, but if they're level like 10, I might want to watch out for them and, like, you know, help them out because they're in over their heads if they're level 10 in here. This is True Level, and it just, you know, it just shows you what your overall level is. And I think it's a really, really important thing. It's a really great marker of people who have a lot of experience, and I think it's a point of pride for a lot of players. I know a lot of players who are, you know, they grind out missions every day with the intent of having their level be as high as possible for other users of True Level. And this thing is just, I think this should be part of the base game because the game is 2 years old now. Everybody is level 30. What's the point to, like, having these numbers over people's heads in the Morningstar? Like, great, so I know this guy is level 1. Okay, cool. I know this guy's level 21. But, like, everybody else, I forget if I'm playing, like, modded or not, but, like, if I go in the Morningstar, you know, most of the time, like, this me, like, most of these people, well, I'm at a really low level Morningstar right now, but most of these people usually are over 30, and so you don't get any information about them. It's really cool to go in here and see people who have, like, effectively done the Call of Duty equivalent of Prestige, and you can actually set it to, like, Prestige, where it rolls over every time that you get to 30 again. So pretty cool stuff there. The other one that I'm going to talk about here that you can't see in this footage is Hybrid Sprint. Hybrid Sprint, it's all the way down here. Hybrid Sprint is something that I absolutely think should be rolled in specifically for console players because it is so annoying to sprint on well, on everything. Normally the sprint effect, like when you're in Morningstar right here, this is just holding down the W key or walking forward with the joystick. If I wanted to sprint, I have to hold down the sprint key like this. And the second that I stop sprinting, I would go back to the walking speed. But I have toggle sprint enabled, which means all I have to do is tap the sprint key and I go into sprint mode. And this will continue until I attack or until I strafe to the side in combat or until I let off of the movement key. It is just so important, and it reduces the strain on your thumb or whatever you use to hit that sprint key. You've got enough buttons to press down while you're running around all the time across these beautiful maps. I would love if this feature would come in. I downloaded toggle sprint, or hybrid. It's called Hybrid Sprint. I downloaded Hybrid Sprint when I was playing on the controller for a couple of videos, and I never looked back because it's really good on both controller and on PC, on keyboard and mouse. So a great one there. Okay, and then I've got a couple of honorable mentions that I think are really, really great. And if you are a PC player, you should want them. But I have my doubts that they will ever be brought to the console by Fat Shark. Those are the Scoreboard. the scoreboard is, where do I have? I think I pop it up right. Oh, no, I pop it up in this one, right? It's somewhere like right here. Yeah, right here, I think I pop it up. Okay, so the scoreboard, there it is. The scoreboard shows you lots of information about how you're doing in the game. Now, I have some scoreboard mods for Scoreboard mod, some extra mods installed to make my scoreboard show more stuff than the normal mod does, but this is just so important to knowing how well you're performing, and I think it's a great way to improve your own play and to feel satisfied with, like, yes, I did something that game. A lot of times you'll look on here and you'll see that, yeah, I didn't do as well in damage as other players, but I contributed more in terms of boss damage or specials killed or whatever you might have, or I took less damage than everyone else. Those are all things that, like, can encourage you to play better and to let you know excuse me, I gotta sit up in my chair, to let you know, like, where you need to focus your efforts. I understand that Fat Shark thought, like, having scoreboards in the game led to toxicity, but I've played for 1,800 hours and I've never seen anyone be toxic in the game because they were scoreboarding someone else. The community hates elitists more than it hates poor players by a huge margin. So if you're that player that's coming out and, like, shaming people for performing bad, yeah, generally, like, everyone else in the team says, shut the fuck up, dude, and get over yourself. So I think it's high time, 2 years on, that we can add the end game scoreboard to the game. It you know, it gives players, like, a small sense of, like, competition, like something to work for. Right now, you have no idea how you did at the end of the game. You're like, I don't know. I guess I did good. It really sucks. So I would love to see scoreboard added, though I don't hold out a whole lot of hope for it since they've already shot that down in the past. A couple other ones that I don't think will be added. Custom HUD is a really big one. Here it is down here. My HUD, by the way, if you see in my modded video here, my HUD is quite something. I've got, this is health, this is toughness, this is my ultimate cooldown. You can see when I use my ultimate here, it actually has a second-by-second counter of when my ultimate is going to be ready, as compared to the normal one, which is, I don't know, I guess maybe I have like half of the cooldown left. I can't remember what the cooldown is. Was it 30 seconds or 40 seconds? I don't know. It's halfway ready, guys. That sort of information is really important to me and to everybody, and so I think it should be all right here. I've also trimmed a lot of the fluff. You know, there's a lot of bloatware, we would say, in terms of buffs down here. I don't care about having a loner. I don't care about having these veteran buffs. That's I'll either have them or I won't. I don't need to know about my coherency number. I can see it right here. Or, you know, who cares about coherency anyway? I remove all that stuff so I can see the things that are most important, like my Blazing Piety stacks, my Uncanny stacks, and my time left in the stealth. Then I put all my ammo right here in the center. I put my dodge count, I put my grenades all up there instead of it being all the way in this bottom right corner so that I can focus. They got the right idea with the stamina bar. It's so important to know how much stamina you have when you're in combat. It just is kind of crazy to me they didn't centralize some of this other stuff. So if they don't, you know, they're not going to allow something like this on console. It'll be impossible to model this up in console. But what they could do is have a couple of settings for, like, do you want your UI normal, centered, like scooch all of this in by like 50% and center it all up, or top, or whatever is better for you. Some more options for that would be really nice. By the way, if you are a player who wants to know how to make this UI look like this, I've got a video that kind of goes over it, but I've added and tweaked a lot, and I think this is my final revised version. I think this is the perfected version of the UI for me. If you want to know how I made this, please let me know in the comments. I'm considering making a video on it, but only if I have enough people that say, like, yeah, this is something that I want. I don't want to make it for like 2 people. Sorry. Anyway, and the last one that I really doubt will come to the game is health bars. Health bars are just, like, they're very, I want to say, like, controversial, I guess, right? You can see the health bars here. It just allows you to know, like, you know, the health of certain enemies. It allows you to pick out enemies from the crowd, especially in a game that looks like this, right? Like, it's not targeting these enemies because I haven't damaged them at all, but, like, when I do start to damage these enemies, when this guy gets shot, it's nice to know, like, okay, this guy is wounded. I should finish him off. He's not been outright killed. It allows you to keep track of what is dead and what is alive and where stuff is that is alive a lot more handily. And this game can get very, very busy. I play this game kind of like an MMO. You could probably tell by my MMO HUD setup here. But yeah, I think that like health bars, they're in the simulacrum, and after I discovered that you could turn them on in the main game with a mod, I never looked back, because I think having this information is really, really important. Like, there, let me know that I only need to stab that guy twice. You play better with health bars. It might be a little bit of cheating, but I think it's absolutely something that if you don't mind, like, kind of cheating a little bit. Personally, I feel like if it's something that the developers of the game allow to be in the game through the modded realm, then it's perfectly okay to use. So if you like that sort of thing, go check it out and use it on PC. But I highly doubt that it'll ever get brought to the game, because it does have a little bit of clutter, a little bit too much clutter, and removes some of the immersion to the game as well. So yeah, there you go. So that's my rundown. One more time, we've got Scoreboard. I think this should be in the game, though I doubt that it ever will. We've got health bars. This is optional, but I doubt it'll ever be in the main game. We've got kill feed improvements. This should be in the main game. We've got no skull. This should absolutely be in the main game. Numeric UI. Please, Fat Shark, put this in the game. It is crazy that we don't have information about our allies at this point, 2 years on. We've got player outlines. These should be in the main game. It's so hard to find my allies. So far hard to find friends. True level. This is very, very important, and it's going to get more important as more and more players max out. I'd love to see, it's cool that players can show their prestige and be encouraged to get high levels on their characters through this. And then finally, hybrid sprint. This is a thing that I could see being really useful for like accessibility options. So please make this a feature in the main game. Anyway, guys, that's everything. Hopefully it made you envious if you're a PlayStation 5 player. Go bother Fat Shark on their forums and tell them to add this stuff. And if you're a PC player, go check out my other video. I'll pin it down in the comments, and it'll tell you how to install these mods. 20 minutes, and you'll have some really great stuff to help you play the game. Anyway, guys, appreciate you. Have a good night. Bye.